Mel, from your perspective, how's things going so far in the first couple of weeks of training?
Very warm, very warm. No, it's been great. The lads have come back in fine shape, so they've all done their sort of work during the summer. Very professional, come back, competition for places, new signings have all come in very sharp, so no, all very good so far.
I'm just chatting to Paul, and it's changed so much in the last 10-15 years, hasn't it, the state of footballers coming back after the summer break, going back 10 years as opposed to now. It's a completely different thing.
Well, I remember when I played, as long as you hadn't put on over half a stone, you were okay. Nowadays it's very different. Now they get their programmes, all personalised programmes throughout the summer. The way Paul coaches and manages, we've always allowed players, and we trust players to do that during the summer. We put 4 or 5 sessions on in June with ball work, which they're invited into, and they can come in if they wish. They don't have to. That's their call. But we had a good turnout. They came in, so that they've been ultimate professionals. Changed massively now. There's 6 weeks build up. The balls are out very early. We trust them to a certain fitness level when they come back, so you can get straight into the coaching and the ball work. And they've come back as we would expect and better.
A new goalkeeper to coach as well in Laurie, who's come back to MK Dons, which is, I think it's always nice when that happens, a situation where a young academy player goes off and then ends up coming back. Your reaction to him so far?
Well, I coached him last year. He trained with us last year. So he was doing a job, I believe, teaching that type of work at the college, and he used to come in every day and work. So I've coached him for 12 months. So this isn't new. What's new is he's now available to us. What's new is if we get an injury to Stewie or Lee, we can now call back a good, talented goalkeeper up on to come into the goals. It's an area where one injury and you've got an apprentice on the bench, and it's never quite. It's always difficult to give them the game time they need, so a loan is a possibility for one of the keepers, but ultimately it strengthens us in that position, which I think is important if we're going to be pushing for the league and pushing to try and get as high as we can up the league, and who knows, then you need to have all positions covered, and goalkeepers, in my opinion, is one of the most important positions to cover.
Absolutely, and because in some ways the goalkeepers will go off and they'll train separately sometimes, and it's a very tight unit, I think, when you've got the goalkeeping coach, the 1, 2 and 3 goalkeepers, the 3 goalkeepers. Was it then important for Laurie to fit into that section of training?
First and most important thing is he's good and he can do a job for us. That's the most important thing. There's lots of nice guys I'm sure I could bring in and would fit in, but no, and he has the talent, he has the ability. Then the next thing is they work with me every single day, but even in the sessions at Paul, I've worked with Paul a long time, so any sessions we do are set so the goalkeepers get benefit out of them, so I can coach during a whole session. It's not just I do the first half hour, 40 minutes and then don't do anything. I coach out the whole session, so the keepers and the sessions that Paul work with the keepers. All 3 keepers will be involved in everything we do all season, and they'll all progress hopefully at the same rate, and they'll provide a very stiff competition for each other, so not one of them can come in and have an off day. All 3 of them will come in and have to perform every single day.
Do you, after last season promotion, and I think, and you'll correct me, and I know you'll correct me if I'm wrong, that I think Lee Nichols had the 4th highest clean sheet ratio in the division. That's just what I've got from a bit of knowledge. Is your aim then, obviously, to be competitive in League One as an overall side, but from the goalkeeping department, just better that? That's your aim?
I don't see it as a goalkeeping department, I see it as a team. Teams keep clean sheets, teams win games. Everyone within that team does their individual jobs, and that can be a striker blocking a ball forward, stops a chance of score. It can be a centre-half heading a ball away. It can be a midfielder tracking a man back and winning a tackle. It's about a team keeping, and I think if anyone who watched us last season would think that yes, Lee did his role, Stuart did his role when he came in, but ultimately the defenders did their job, the midfielders did their job, and the strikers. We defended as a team, and we attacked as a team, and I think that's our strength. So, the targets we set ourselves is to be difficult to beat and win as many games as we can, and who knows where that'll take us.
What do you see as the differences in League One as opposed to League Two? How does the overall style of football in League One become more competitive and more difficult to play than in League Two?
I think in League One, the standard of the players technically is up a level, and I think that's the state as you go up each division. Obviously, from League Two to League One, the technical ability is better. I think there's a more the way they play. There's less variety in teams play in terms of you don't have as many long ball teams. You don't have teams who do certain things. It tends to be very much a coached managed and organised team structures that everyone plays off, and the balls move quickly. The players individually are that technically that much better. So you can expect far more counter-attacks when you've got possession. Teams will set up and counter-attack you far more. Teams won't give possession away with the ball, long ball forward, as we sort of experienced in League Two. And the last time we were in League One with Exeter, one of the biggest differences was the quality on the set plays, the deliveries. That type of work was again another level up.
And just finally, after promotion last season, and the signings that have been made in the summer, there's often this feeling that when a club gets promoted, it's almost like, well, just mid-table in the division the next season. I mean, it's a thing probably journalists and fans say more than coaching staff, I'll grant you, but there's a real buzz with the signings that have been made, plus the players that are still here from last season that have signed contracts. And you look at the squad and you think, this is a really decent squad that could be very competitive in it.
I think we go into every season. The first thing is be difficult to beat and have a team structure and a way of playing that players understand and buy into. We came here last year and our ultimately was to stop the losing mentality, to try and ignite the club again and get players playing in swing. So ultimately it was defend, solid, difficult to beat. And then who knows where that takes you. And it's similar again this year. We'll go in, we're solid, we've got a good squad, we've got good players, and we'll know, give us the first 15-20 games, we'll know how competitive we are at that point. We'll adapt, as we always do, as Paul's teams always do. We'll certainly be a difficult team to play against next season, and then we'll see where that takes us.
You've now had the chance to work with Lee and the rest of the goalkeepers for a year now. Where do you think they've improved the most over the last 2 years?
It's probably a question more to them than me. What I see is, I'm not going to go through individuals, but I think their understanding of the role is better, and that's because they're involved in a lot more than just the goalkeeping sessions. They're involved in team, and the way the team plays, the way we want to play. We trust them to make good decisions. They're decision makers. They're not instructed, you must do this, you must do that. And they've gradually improved in all aspects. I mean, again, you guys would have seen Lee the year before, I didn't. But from last year until now, I think Lee's improved in all aspects of his game. I think Stuart's come on board. I knew of Stuart, and he's what I expected him, and he's improving again in the areas that I'd expect. I think it's generally all areas. We don't. At this level, they don't tend to have a weakness. You say, we need to get onto that. It's just a case of gradually improving them, not just individually and personally, but also as part of the team structure, improving within that.
We saw Stuart come in for a few games last season, and performed, I think, admirably in those games that he came in. Is it important when you see competition all over the field? It's massive to have another goalkeeper pushing your number one as well.
Yeah, I'm not a big one for number ones. We have 3 now very competitive goalkeepers. We've got 2 last season. It's a fair fight as far as I'm concerned. The one who's playing better gets the jersey. It's the same in most positions. What I would say is it's always important that if a goalkeeper has a loss of form, slight injury, that you can take him out to the far line and have the confidence in the next person to go in. And invariably, one normally tends to get the shirt and holds the shirt for most of the season. And last year that was Lee, but the team needed a bit of a reboot. We've called it, with a few changes, not just the goalkeeper. It wasn't Lee's fault. It was just the team was in a position we needed to change it, so we rebooted the team. And Stuart came in and did exactly what I expected him to do. He helped with the other players who came in and helped get us back on track and ultimately promoted.